We got ourselves team one together with Advo coming back into the demonology clues over the back, but it looks like he's put it in the corner. They're putting that boy last with Krager, I think, going to be first up potentially. We got ourselves LFG Hero. LFG Hero. This is in Russian. But Hero, we got a hero over here, and Mary as well joined in. Hey, Mary, I do, my guy. Oh my god. Alistair going to be first up over the team with Krager charging and Stormbolting him down, but not before he summons up a big abomination, sprouting a Necrolordy limb, calling in onto the Valkyrie from beyond, summoning up an entire army of undead to fight Krager, quick flying onto the warrior with a stun, trying to see if he can focus him down, but Alistair may be down for the counter as he's just getting ripped apart entirely, trying to see if he can turn the damage around onto Krager as the warrior bolstered himself with a frenzied in rage regeneration. Alistair with a make it at that death packed with death, unable to really heal, but able to keep fighting a little bit longer. Krager with a full health recovery. Look at this warrior go! Look at that full health recovery on this man. They just nerfed the self-healing. I wonder if this man is playing a Bloodthirst build though. I guess we'll see in a second if we just see his spam Bloodthirst back-to-back big fire breath. But Kara's trying to see if he can potentially make a big play, knocking back Krager, trying to see if he can disengage, has a shroud, so all those storm bolts are going to be not as effective. The stun, however, is effective. Deep breath, getting Krager kind of lowish. Try to see if he can potentially slow him down. Krager does get himself a couple of Bloodthirsts back-to-back. Needs bloodbath as soon as possible. Strongbow, but it's actually not going to be an easy seal to carry. The shroud protects you from 3 crowd control abilities with an eternity surge reactor. The Disintegrate does get interrupted onto the bloom. Red is going to be there to help the damage, but also heal himself if needed. Should be going for self-heals if ever necessary. Trying to go for maybe a fire breath, but maybe just looking to reposition away from Krager, using that mobility to get away, slowing down Krager tremendously, getting a lot of damage out with it. Signal after Krager could be in a bad spot. Wait, good proc spear, potentially Krager looking to charge in, get himself a little bit more of a recovery. Bloodthirst back-to-back Stonebolt onto Karas. Does he have himself in rage regen? Does have himself big in rage with the Odin's Fury. Bleeds to follow. Karas could be in trouble. Looks like Krager does end up taking him out with back-to-back bloodbaths, just doing a ton of damage. Inferno going to be up next. Got himself yet another shroud, as well as a little umbrella. Disintegrates at the ready. Can be interrupted, but he cannot be CC'd for a little bit of time. Now that the interrupt is out for Krager, Inferno could potentially make himself a big play. This is going for big cooldowns. I think maybe waiting him for a little bit later. Krager could be in a bad spot, knocking the warrior back. Stormbolt, but it's not going to stop him. Big leap, and Inferno catching up all that health in just a few globals. Krager is a little bit behind her health, as that is the big cooldowns out of the Evoker. The Shroud still holds, so he won't really be able to stun him. Deep Breath is going to get him kind of low. Inferno does cut himself a pretty big gap away from Krager. Big Reflect for the Warrior. This is going to be enough though, as Krager tried to close that gap. Enrage him back up. He may just have to use it. Does he have to? Fear onto the Evoker, making the dragon tremble before him. Big oppressive roar for Inferno is going to put Krager to sleep. Does the man get out? He doesn't. What is healing you right now though? Wait, what? Does sleep heal ya? Hold on. Is sleep basically equivalent to polymorph now? Hold on a second. That used to be a thing, if that's true. Gonna be a fire breath out of Inferno. Kragar looks like he got himself a little bit of health caught up. Inferno may be in a bit of trouble. May need to use some other cooldowns in order to get away from Kragar. Definitely needs to use that mobility of the Evoker. Try to see if he can go for some damage potentially, but no. Kragar does end up slaying the dragon. With Kioska going to be up next. The Hunter trying to see if he can slow down Krager before he can close that gap. Laying on some traps. Stone into Krager has a trick for it with a reflect in case there's a freezing trap to wait for him. Stormbolt into Kioska. Big damage. Avatar. Full Odin's Fury. Massive bleeds. Kioska could be in a bit of trouble. Those bleeds are actually doing quite a bit of work. Trying to go for Manic Bandage. Suturing around all those wounds immediately. This Krager gets put onto ice for just a second. This massive juggernaut, this avatar of a warrior, having to wait in that steel trap for just a moment. Kioska with him Eagles, trying to make sure that there's as much range damage onto Krager. He doesn't necessarily want to fight him, but while his pet is out in the open, Krager always has a target to Bloodthirst off of. Stormbolt into Kioska. Is it going to be enough though? Krager may have to pop big defenses here. Reflect up, so Kioska knows he needs to delay the freezing trap until later. Try to go for a defensive at a perfect time as Odin's Fury does come out. All those bleeds are actually quite brutal. And Krager still holding on to Enrage Regeneration. Can Kioska do something for Krager to maybe like lock him down and burst him down? I think with that Enrage Regen, the Warrior should be mostly safe. And this is where Kioska, I think, needs to chip away the Warrior's defenses at his health bar, little by little, until it forces out a defensive. Reset for him, then come back with full glory. Gonna be that coordinated assault. Krager may have to respond. That's gonna be an Enrage Regeneration. That's gonna be a very short stun though. Actually using that Enrage Regen, but then it's gonna slow him down and put him on ice for just a second. Krager tried to see if he can catch up a little bit of health. Does he get himself another Enrage? He does have a pretty big Bloodthirst. It is actually so much healing, so much damage. And Kioska is gonna dip under the pillar. trying to see if he can get away from the warrior for just a second. Leap by this warrior with a reflect. Kiosk immediately popping into Turtle Shell, hiding away from Kragar as soon as the warrior approaches him. Freezer trap to follow. Kiosk is kind of limited on what they can do. Does damage a camo though, as the pet and Kiosk both were completely out of combat. Hunter's Mark onto Kragar. And the man, he can pick up the eyes if he wants to. Kiosk can match him for it. He knows that he can maybe lay some traps for him to make sure he can prolong that state of camo as long as humanly possible. Kragar does find him Stormbolt before Kiosk can make a play. Gonna be that binding shot though, as Kiosk does set up a binding shot on top of him. It is gonna start Kragar, forcing a trick out of him. Kiosk under a ton of pressure though, into a big executes. Is it gonna be enough though? Man is still bleeding out profusely. Does get himself medic manage at the last second right before he loses himself. And it's gonna be Kragar just with a couple more bloodthirsts, all he needs just to get on top of Kiosk. Just needs one or two. Okay, he just leaves. The man decides, you know what, this warrior is a ton of pressure. I'm gonna leave before dampening gets super high, so maybe second red can get a chance. A second chance to beat the warrior. Massive cleave onto Kragar. Is it gonna be another? Oh my god, second red, locking him down to the stun, into a blind, into a stun, just cascades all the holy damage upon him and just consumes him in the light itself. That is a lot of damage. And the LFG hero going to be up next versus second red, as we are hitting that 29% dampening. The dampening is going to be hurting the paladin quite a bit. But also, LFG hero doesn't have nearly the same amount of healing. Has a demon, can use the hunt to potentially use that for big recovery. Bubble out of second red off of the hunt as LFG hero. We're just trying to see if we can maximize some of the damage. Picking up the demonic soul right now just to get whatever healing is left from it, but also the 20% damage increase. And second red is really going to come down to him waiting until he can potentially get some cooldowns out of LFG like a trinket. And playing defensively, I think, until maybe a blind stun back up. He's definitely going to see if he can potentially use blind or stun to get a trinket out of LFG, then lock him down. Trinket out of second red. He knows he needs to be proactive. He's kind of behind him. He may have to use wings as well as any kind of procs in order to keep himself alive as best as possible. Is going to be lay on hands early on. He needs to maximize the lay on hands though, because LFG just presses the assault while full Baron's buff is on you. From that lay on hands could be big pressure into a massive soul cleave. LFG hero backing up out for a second. IBM onto second red, chasing him down, not letting him go anywhere. Second red needs to make a play right now, but I think it's over. Oh my god, LFG hero making sure that the chase is as deadly as it can be. Well done with Kragar. I feel like with that duel versus Kiosk, that should still count. In my opinion, he only got 3 kills. I feel like that one should still count. But there it is. Worst thing to second win. Talents is up front, but I guess second win, yeah. Every time we reset on the warrior, he just gets a full heal. That is rough.